Today we will continue the chapter The Central Islamic Lands, in which we will start a new topic, Franks in Syria. So who were the Franks? The citizens of western countries as France and Italy who conquered in the first crusade. They quickly established four crusade states in the regions of Syria and Palestine. Collectively these territories were known as Outremer, the land overseas. So these earliest crusaders were generally more tolerant of the Muslim population than those crusaders who came later. So here Usama ibn Munkid, a 12th century Syrian Muslim, has something interesting to say about his new neighbor. So among the Franks, you can see there are some who have settled down in this country and they are associated with Muslims. So they are better than the newcomers. Here is an example. Once I sent a man to Antioch. Antioch is Greek city, on business. At that time, Chief Theodore Sophianos, an Eastern Christians, was there. He and I were friends. He was all powerful in Antioch. One day he said to my man who has gone to Antioch, one of my Frankish friend has invited me. Come with me and see how they live. So my man told me, so I went with him and we came to the house of one of the old knights, those who had come with the first Frankish expeditions. And now he was retired and had a property at Antioch where he lived. So they had a tasty and a cleanly served dinner. When the merchant was reluctant to eat Frankish food, then he was assured that this food was cooked by Egyptian women, not does use of swine flesh. So after the dinners, we left the house. Later, when they were walking through markets, there suddenly a Frankish woman, she caught me and began babbling in her languages. A crowd of Franks they collected over there, and it was seen that it was the last day of his life. Then suddenly the knight whom he had dinner at that day appeared and tried to help him. He asked the woman what she want. She replied that he killed her brother Hurso. The Hurso was also knight of Afamia who had been killed by someone from the army of Hama. So then the man shouted at her and said he was a merchant. He does not fight or go to the war. And then he shouted at the crowd and they dispersed. Then he took my hand and went away. So the effect of that meal that he had was to save him from Frank death. So here we saw that the later crusade who settled down there, they treat them as an enemy. So now we start economy, agriculture, urbanization and commerce. So before we go through this topic, let's see the territorial expansions of the empire. As it has been mentioned that agriculture was the principal occupations of the settled populations in the newly conquered territories. So we read about the territorial expansions by Caliph Umar. He annexed the territories of Byzantine and Sasanian Empire in Iran. Then you saw that the Arab brought Syria, Iran and Iraq and Egypt under the control of Arab. Uthman extended the control of Central Asia, and then the Arab, if you talk Islamic State, controlled the vast territory between river Nile to Oxus river. What we saw in the beginning. Later we saw there was a constant change in the dynasties. So in the 9th century, AD caliphates or Khalifa lost its control over the distant provinces. As we saw Abbasid Khalifa, they lost their control. As we read that Baghdad lost its control over its provinces. We saw civil war within the caliphs, numbers of minor dynasties, okay, rise of numbers of minor dynasty, Tahirid and Samanid in Transoxiana, and Ptolemid in Egypt and Tulunids in Egypt and Syria, Buyids from Caspian regions of Iran captured Baghdad. So the rise of Turkish. Later we saw the rise of Turkish Sultanate in the 11th and the 12th centuries. As they were nomadic tribes from the Central Asia steppes of Turkestan, they entered into Abbasid, Samanids and Buyid administration as slaves and soldiers, and then they rise to high position on account of their loyalty and military abilities. So important tribes, the Seljuk tribes of conquered Khurasan and then turned to Western Persia and Iran and restored Baghdad in 1055 AD. And then we talk about the Crusades War. Here the religious war, the loss of the empire, especially Jerusalem, and annexed again by the second crusade by Saladin. And later we read that Mamluk, the ruler of Egypt, finally dropped the crusade Christians from all the region of Palestine. So when we talk about the extension of the empire, it was from river Nile to Oxus river. Agriculture here was the primary occupations of the settled population of this newly conquered territories. So land was owned by the big and the small peasants. If we talk in Iraq and Iran, land was divided into large units which was cultivated by the peasants. And if we talk about the tax here, you can see the estate owners collected tax on the behalf of the state during the Sasaniya as well as in Islamic period. Okay, then if we talk about these areas where you can see they were shifting toward pastoral land to agricultural land. Okay, the land was the common property of the village. Finally, big state which was left by the owner. After the Islamic conquest, it was acquired by the state and it was handed over to Muslim elite groups, especially the family of Khalif. So what we saw that when we talk about this shifting from pastoral to agricultural land. So this land was the common property of the village. And we saw that this big estate which was left by the these owners after the Islamic conquest in this region. So that was acquired by the state and it was handed to the elite class. Handed to the elite class, and you can see especially to the family of Khalif. So the state had overall control over the agricultural land, and source of income was the land revenue. Okay, then we saw the land conquered by the Arab that remained with the hand of the owner was subject to tax. That was called Kharaj. Depend on the condition of the land. It varied from half to 1/5 of the land. So we are discussing the revenue system in which we talk about the Kharaj. Okay, Kharaj was the land that was if we talk about conquered by the Arab and that remained in the hands of the owner. They were subject to pay tax. Okay, so here you can see, and the land that was owned by the Muslim. Okay, that the tax that was levied or imposed was 1/10 usur. So now the non-Muslims, they start converting themselves into Muslims so that they had to pay low taxes. And it reduced the income of the state. To address the shortfall, okay, the Caliph first did discourage the conversion of here of non-Muslim into Muslim. And then later they adopted uniform policy of taxations. Okay, this was from the 10th century onward. So here you can see that this system, a new revenue system, we called it ICTA. Okay, or revenue assignment. So then here you can see the official claim their salaries from agriculture revenues from territories. So here you can see the nobles were given grant of on land. Okay, this land was called ICTA. So here the land was given to the noble. They collected taxes from the farmer living in their ICTA Okay, with this money they maintained themselves, their families, and also paid the soldiers under them. So that we call the Ikta system. So here come political stability, it brings agricultural prosperity. So here you can see that if we talk the political stability, when there is a frequent changes of emperor or ruling class, okay, where all efforts were put to gain political or central authority. So if we talk about this instability brings anarchy and disorder, okay. Then later we saw that political stability here where you can see the rulers, he ruled for a period of time, and where he will work on all aspects, the political, the socio-religious and economical. Okay, and this political stability, it brings agricultural prosperity. As the state now supported irrigation system, okay, the construction of dams and canals, especially in the Nile River of Egypt, and then you can see in this digging of well, okay, often equipped with water wheels or noria, all of which were crucial for good harvest. Then Islamic law, it gives concessions on taxes for those who first time bring the land under cultivation. So here you can see many peasant initiative and support by the state. Here the support by the state, cultivable land, it expanded, and there is an increase in the production even in the absence of major technological changes. As the cultivable land, it expanded, they start growing many new crops: cotton, orange, banana, watermelon, spinach, brinjals were grown, and even they were exported to Europe. So now we talk about prosperity here, as well as we're talking about the urbanization. So this Islamic civilization flourished as a number of cities grow in an exceptional way. Many of the new city was founded, okay, mainly to settle Arab soldiers, Jun, who formed the backbone of the state and local administration. So among the classes, garrison cities called Misr, the Arabic name for Egypt. So here we talk about the garrison cities. So you can see the name of Kufa and Basra in Iraq, and Fustat and Cairo in Egypt, which was established in the sake of the settlement of the soldiers. Okay. Here you can see the Baghdad, the capital of Abbasid. It reached the population around 10 lakh within 50 years, and there were old cities also: Damascus, Safahan and Samarkand, okay, which receive a new life, leads a new life, okay. As their size and population, it increased due to the increase in the production here of food grain and raw materials such as sugar and cotton for urban manufacturer or urban industries. So these older towns, they also get life due to the increase in production, which resulted in the increase in the size and population. So you can see a vast urban network that developed, linking one to two town with another and forming a grid on this vast area. So at the heart of the cities, there were two building complexes radiating cultural and economic power. So when we talk about the mosque, it radiate what? It radiate the cultural power, and when we talk about the central marketplace, it radiate the economical power. So here you can see, if this is a rough map of this town. So at the center, at the heart, you can see one building complex. One is what? One is mosque, and another one is the central marketplace. So this mosque, you can see it's a congregations, means a group of people that is assembled here for religious worship, is big enough to be seen from a distance. So if you talk the size, it is big enough to see it from the distance. And then you can see central market place. Okay, If we talk these are the marketplace. You can see that shop here is in a row. If we talk about the merchant lodging, a place where the merchants stay, Funduk, and here you can see there is a office of money chargers also. So the cities were the house of whom? The house of the administrators here. Then you can see an iron or eyes of the state whose scholars and merchants here. Tuzar who live close to the center. So here if we talk about this is what? This is the house of administrators, iron or the eyes of the state, and the house of scholars and merchant. Then comes the house of what? Ordinary citizens and soldiers. Ordinary citizens and soldiers. Here you can see the house of ordinary citizens and soldiers. Okay, they had their living quarters in the outer circle. So each fitted with his own mosque, church or synagogue. Synagogues are the Jewish temple. There is a subsidiary market and public bath that is called hammam, and important meeting places that is located in this region. And at the outskirt here you can see what the house of the urban poor. Here comes the urban poor. Urban poor. Okay. A market for green vegetable, fruits brought from the countryside or villages. Here is the Karwa stations, a group of travelers and the merchant who with their transportation move from one place to another. They stay here, and then you can see some shops are there dealing with tanning, where they convert the animal skin to leather, and butchering or the slaughtering, kill animal for food. So beyond the city walls here you will find inn is the rest house, okay, and the cemeteries. Okay, so here you can see that the people rest when the city gates were shut down. So here you can see there can be changes in this map. If you talk about the map, okay, it depends on the nature of the landscape, political tradition and historical events. So there can be changes in the structure of the town. So it is a general assumption that how the town were built.